in the job market. In the statement, the Committee of Education should address the following. 1, the criteria and requirements necessary for such elevation and whether Kisumu National Polytechnic meets these requirements. 2, plans by the State Department for Technical Vocational Education and Training, TVET, to elevate Kisumu National Polytechnic to a technical university, including a timeline for the process. 3, budgetary allocations, if any, that have been set aside for the elevation and expansion of the institution to meet university status. 4, how the proposed elevation will impact technical education, skills development, and employment opportunities for the youth in the region. Lastly, whether public participation and stakeholder engagements are being conducted to assess the viability and necessity of the elevation in line with Article 232(1)(d) of the Constitution. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Prof, have you read the three statements? All the three statements? Okay. I will allow, I can see Senator Charankei. I will allow 15 minutes of comments on those three statements. Senator Fernando, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. I just want to seek further clarification on the statement on the status of Kisumu-Busia road infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, I would like the Transport Committee to consider also the dualing and upgrading of Uplands, Nakuru, Eldoret, Bungoma, Malaba Road, Mr. Speaker, to expand, because, Mr. Speaker, as we talk for people who use the road between Nairobi, Eldoret, Malaba, Bungoma, all the way to North Rift and Western Kenya, Mr. Speaker, the road is so narrow that to travel from here to Eldoret, for example, people travel up to 5 hours, Mr. Speaker. On a day when there is like Easter weekend that is upcoming, this is a very holy week, Mr. Speaker, as by the Catholic calendar, is we have to travel almost 10 to 15 hours on the road, even when you are traveling to Kisumu, Mr. Speaker. So I hope the committee will prioritize to find out, because we were told in the last session that France were willing to do PPP on this road. Later we were told that Americans and Chinese want to do this road. Mr. Speaker, this is the only road that links Nairobi with the rest of Western Kenya. We are not talking even about Mau Mau roads, Mr. Speaker, where they are being done up to the local village, Mr. Speaker. But this one, we are talking about the economy of transporting goods between and services between here in Nairobi and Western Kenya and part of North Rift and even Kisumu, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I would really want to know the status of this road. I know, for example, in Nandi, of all the 5 tarmac roads, Mr. Speaker, all of them are stalled. If you talk about Nandi Simaki Road, the one that links between Eldoret, Kapsabet, and Kakamega Vihiga, Mr. Speaker, that road is so narrow. But it is unfortunate that they did expand up to Chafakali, and Senator Otsosi knows that. And I've told the Prime Cabinet Secretary that why would they only repair from Majengo all the way to Chafakali, but from Chafakali to Cheptulu, to Kapsabet, to Eldoret, the road is so narrow, Mr. Speaker. And other parts of this country, we have even in the ones in Mosop, all the way from Tulwa to Mudete, from Kamasai to Luanda, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate, and I can see the chair of roads is smiling, and these are serious things. And we were being told they are coming, Mr. Speaker, they are coming to government through broadbase as experts. We want to see the expertise on the expansion of these roads. Yes, we want to see the expertise. For example, unless I don't know which expert he is, Mr. Speaker. You know, the last time he was in the US playing with numbers and telling us there is Jose Carmago. But the point I want to make, Mr. Speaker, you look at this road between Eldoret to Bungoma, a place called Kaburengu. We have lost so many people in Kaburengu. We have lost so people in Nakuru because of accidents and deaths. Even this one of Bomet, Mr. Speaker, all the way from Nairobi, Bomet, Kericho to Kisumu. We are losing so many people. So I want to agree with Senator Professor Ojienda that this thing will make a reality. Finally, on compensation, Mr. Speaker, I think there is a problem with issues of compensation. We must agree. There are many Kenyans that are yet to be compensated, Mr. Speaker. Even in the Eldoret Pipers, there was an opaque compensation program in Eldoret bypass, Mr. Speaker. Even on the one of Aldai to Serem, around the road between Aldai to Serem, most of the people in Kipsigak, from Kipsigak Junction, Mr. Speaker, all the way to Kobujoy, to Aldai, Mr. Speaker, the compensation of many Kenyans that was affected on that road was never done, Mr. Speaker. So I want Kenyans should be compensated, Mr. Speaker, and the Constitution is very clear that anybody and everybody who is displaced, and my law professor is here, should be compensated on market rate, Mr. Speaker. I am told there are senior government officials, Mr. Speaker, whenever they know that, like your village, if we have to connect your village with the tarmac, Mr. Speaker, the senior government officials during feasibility study buy land for speculative purposes, displacing the genuine Kenyans who should be compensated, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, this compensation should be done and ensure Kenyans are compensated with the market rate that is based on this, Mr. Speaker. With those very many remarks, I hope this issue of roads can be addressed once and for all. Let us not only divert to one region to get the roads. I know Senator Wambua he supports the other side, but he has never asked those people, why are they doing Mau Mau roads and they are not doing Megatilili wa Menza, or who was the freedom fighter from Mugambani? They should also do roads called Megatilili wa Menza roads. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Osotsi. And Senator Fernandez, get your history correctly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to comment on the statement by Senator Ojenda regarding the dualling of Kisumu Busia Road, which also happens to pass through my county, between Maseno and Yala. Mr. Speaker, you know Uganda is a key trading partner of Kenya. In fact, in terms of trade volume, Uganda is #1 trading partner for Kenya. And therefore, I think it's important that all roads or transport systems connecting Kenya to Uganda must be improved, must be enhanced. We have a serious problem, Mr. Speaker, on this road, because this road, I don't know, it was last repaired more than 15 years ago. And yet this is the road that carries all cargo traffic from Mombasa to Uganda and all manner of transport processes that are involved in transporting goods from Mombasa to Uganda. So I think something has to be done, and I know it has been in the plans. Even in the Vision 2030, there was a plan to dual this road, but nothing much is happening. Even repairs are not happening. And Mr. Speaker, that's why we are very concerned about RMLF. RMLF should be used to repair such strategic roads, but it's unfortunate that we are not able to access RMLF because of the conduct of the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker, trying to ensure that this money remains with them. I think it must come out very clearly that if we are not maintaining roads in this country, the reason is members of the National Assembly. If you are driving on a bad road, just blame the member of parliament where you are passing through. Of member of the National Assembly where you are driving on the road. Mr. Speaker, this weekend I had a lot of problems going through my county because the roads are in a bad shape. And members of parliament are fighting to control this money, Mr. Speaker. Why are Kenyans not seeing what these people are doing? The kind of injustice they are doing to the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I had given a motion of adjournment on this matter. But unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, my motion has been denied. I will not complain about that, but I think we need time to discuss about the fight against devolution in this country. We cannot continue living like this, Mr. Speaker. Devolution is the best thing that ever happened in this country since independence. But we are seeing that the members of parliament, they want to control county roads, they want to control markets, and they are even constructing hospitals, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a Senate, under the Article 96 of the Constitution, we have the powers to protect devolution, and we will do that protection with all the strength that we have, anywhere we are, whether we are in Baraza, whether we are in this house, whether we are wherever we are, we will protect devolution. I am asking members that we have to come out and fight. I know this afternoon, the National Assembly, they are going to be talking about what our party leader, Raila Odinga, said. And he said the truth, that the real people fighting devolution in this country are members of the National Assembly. We should not be ashamed, Mr. Speaker. We need to call them out. They are controlling CDF and they want to encroach on the other functions which are not theirs. We should not allow this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support the statement.
Senator Wamatenga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also rise in support of the statement. Indeed, there is no one single country in the world which has ever progressed without taking the basic infrastructure, and that is the connectivity that connects community, that connects country. Mr. Speaker, sir, we know the importance of regional integration. We know that most of our business partners, Mr. Speaker, they lie across borders. And therefore, it is very important that we ensure that we do not only put the necessary resources, but also improve the infrastructure that will ensure that the flow of human goods, and as well as facilitating the mobility of labor as envisaged in our EAC undertaking. Mr. Speaker, sir, it cannot be overemphasized the importance of us as leaders of not fighting over the resources, but ensuring that the services delivered are delivered timely to the people and by using the right channels. Mr. Speaker, sir, as has been said by my fellow colleague here, the Senator Osotsi, indeed, devolution came and changed many counties. It would even achieve even more wonders if we allocated enough resources to them. Mr. Speaker, sir, we started this Senate with a high note of unbundling all the devolved functions and ensuring that budgets are following them. That, Mr. Speaker, sir, has remained elusive. The political goodwill that we've brought on the table, Mr. Speaker, is dwindling by the minute. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is only 2 years to election, and we will all place ourselves before the electorate and tell what is it that we've been able to do. Mr. Speaker, I therefore think that we should speak with the voice of reason, whether we sit in the National Assembly, in the Senate, or we sit in the governor's office, where people have been known to lack accountability and using the resources that they've been allocated to not only do what they think will advance their political goals, but at times with skewed priorities. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is important as leadership of this country, it's important that we call them out and tell them the governors must get what they should get, but then they should also allocate depending on the priorities as envisaged by our 2010 Constitution. As I sit down, Mr. Speaker, sir, indeed it is a very sad affair that we see the control of the National Assembly of almost everything that gets to pass in this House, be it the allocation of the budget, be it the oversight law, Mr. Speaker, but then we know that too much on their hands, Mr. Speaker, then they are left to only mismanage that, and we must tell ourselves the truth. It is the high time we change the way we are doing things. It is the high time that we also confront the reality that development in any part of this country is development everywhere. Mr. Speaker, sir, as I sit down, I listened to the President explain about the construction of roads in the northern part of the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to submit that indeed it's very sad. 62 years after independence, 80% of the landmass of this country remains unconnected to the national grid, remains unconnected to the basic infrastructure, and it is not a privilege. It is a right for every Kenyan, and therefore, as I sit here and address this issue, I think it's the high time that we get our priorities right and know that this marginalized 80% of the landmass must also contribute to the national GDP. Mr. Speaker, sir, I submit.
Speaker, I thank you, and I don't know why Senator Sifuna is so happy that I have the microphone. Mr. Speaker, I also want to make comments on the statement by Senator Tom Ojienda on the status of the Kisumu-Busia road infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, I want to hasten to say that lately Senator Tom has been very active on matters infrastructure, and the people of Kisumu County should take note. Mr. Speaker, having said that, this is a matter that resonates with a lot of us in the Senate, Mr. Speaker, and it shall be remembered that I have raised this matter many, many times on the issue of the Kibwezi-Mutomo-Kitui Road. Mr. Speaker, that road is not just a road that serves the people of the Mount Kenya South region. It is a road that serves the region from Mombasa all the way, Mr. Speaker, to Isiolo and connecting Kenya with Addis Ababa. It is actually a transport corridor that is international. Mr. Speaker, I would urge the committee, as they continue to look into these issues, to ensure that, Mr. Speaker, that road is completed, because the section of road remaining is less than 20 kilometers to connect it to the Mwingi-Garissa road, and then, of course, the payment of pass. Mr. Speaker, having said that, allow me, Mr. Speaker, to, whilst you're on that statement, to say, Mr. Speaker, that this matter of the road maintenance fund, Mr. Speaker, is a matter that this House needs to make a statement on and ensure that we call out the right people. I agree with Senator Ososi, I agree with Senator Omatinga, I agree with the leader of ODM, His Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, that, Mr. Speaker, one of the greatest enemies of devolution in this country is members of the National Assembly. That, Mr. Speaker, these people, they behave as though Article 93 of the Constitution was created just for them. That the Senate and nobody else exists apart from the National Assembly. Mr. Speaker, I want to stand today on the floor of this Senate and say that even as they consider the statement by Raila Amolo Odinga on their role in killing devolution, they should know that actually Raila Amolo Odinga spoke for Kenyans. He did not even speak for himself. Mr. Speaker, but the other category of leaders that we need to call out as a Senate, and I want my colleagues to listen and listen to me carefully. It is the Council of Governors. Mr. Speaker, do you know that I have information that now governors are contemplating withdrawing the case in court on the 10 billion that is supposed to go to counties for roads maintenance, for exchange of peanuts, so that they can be given some little peanuts? Mr. Speaker, this House is the one that is supposed to negotiate monies going to counties. It is not the business of governors to negotiate what money goes to the counties. That is not their business. Mr. Speaker, for them is to wait for the Senate to negotiate what goes to the counties, then they implement what they are budgeted to implement. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask my colleagues to rise up and speak to their individual governors and tell them that we are watching. It can never happen that the governors will be intimidated or will accept to withdraw the case in court before that matter is determined, Mr. Speaker. The 10 billion Kenya shillings, as a Senate, we believe that is money that rightfully should go to counties for maintenance of roads. Any other conversation, Mr. Speaker, outside that conversation, it's only a conversation that can be held by governors who are self-interested. Mr. Speaker, lastly, there is this money that has been set aside by the national government from the same RMLF, the 7 shillings tax that has been given to the Ministry of Roads to pay pending bills and complete roads that have not been completed. Mr. Speaker, that 175 billion Kenya shillings, and that is the position of the Roads Committee of the Senate, that the chairman is here. The position is very clear, that a percentage of that amount of money must go to counties. So that, Mr. Speaker, you don't have a situation where people from Kitui, Kabati, Matinyani, who are fueling their vehicles and 7 shillings being taken away from them. That money has now come, all of it has to come to Nairobi for them to make a decision on how that money is going to be used, and yet we are paying that tax at source, Mr. Speaker. That is money that must go to counties, a portion of it, so that we make sure we have equitable distribution of development and resources in this country. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I support.
Senator Essie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I wish to comment on the statement by Senator Professor Tom Ojienda on upgrading Kisumu National Polytechnic to university status. While I appreciate his thoughts on the same, I would wish that this statement brings our focus back to whether the current national polytechnics have actually met the intended purpose and the technical training institutions we've had in this country. Mr. Speaker, because the essence of technical training institutions is to equip young people with the necessary technical skills. You can't hear me?
Just draw the microphone closer to your mouth.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to state the following. While I appreciate the statement by Senator Professor Tom Ojienda on upgrading Kisumu National Polytechnic to a university, I would also wish that that statement draws us to some of the following concerns, Mr. Speaker, because technical training institutions and national polytechnics are meant to equip young people with technical skills relevant to the job market, Mr. Speaker. But what we have currently, we have achieved the goal of constructing these institutions in the various constituencies and counties. And what I see is a general clamor from the political wing to have many of these institutions in their areas. But we are missing out on a major aspect. These institutions which are providing training are not producing students who can fill the job market. You have a technical institution which is training issues on plumbing. But around those areas, we do not have that market to get these graduates who are coming out of those institutions. So I would wish that as we want some of these institutions get upgraded to university status, we don't miss out the point of meeting societal needs for those areas. Take a case of MSO's Technical Training Institute, the college. They are training on issues to do with dairy farming and how students can preserve dairy products which are actually brought there. But when you compare how many of those students will be absorbed outside, the number is very negligible, and that is a blow especially to the young people who are expecting to get jobs in their different areas of study other than what we actually hoped for. Mr. Speaker, I also want to complete by also supporting the statement by Professor on the issue of funds set aside for road network. Mr. Speaker, like my colleagues have actually mentioned, the biggest enemy that is trying to kill devolution is the National Assembly, and I wish that they put this in their shoes, because we have members who are initially in the National Assembly and now in the Senate. So you might actually be opposing things, thinking at one point you will not be a member of the Senate, and generally you end up at the Senate and suffer the same frustration, Mr. Speaker. And we do not want to be lamenting about this. Mr. Speaker, we are not going to take it as usual in that we are processing their bills on the issues that are coming from the National Assembly with ease. But anytime we have matters that are touching devolution and protecting the interest of counties, the National Assembly colleagues are sabotaging, Mr. Speaker. So I want to support and urge that all senators agree on this issue in that we carry it as a joint initiative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to add my voice to what my colleagues have said regarding the statement by Senator Ojienda. As you know, Honorable Speaker, I am a regular user of that road from Kisumu to Busia, because that's the route I use to go and see my mother in the rural areas. I branch off at road is there and join the road through Emuhaya and Sabatia, then go all the way through Mumias to Bungoma. And Honorable Speaker, the state of that road, especially the space after, or the distance after Maseno, all the way to Busia town, as has been described by my colleagues and by Senator Ojienda, is in very bad shape. Honorable Speaker, allow me to be devil's advocate for two institutions that have been mentioned very adversely here. First, let me attempt to say something positive about the members of the National Assembly, because I was there in Bondo just this weekend, where those pronouncements by the Honorable Raila were made. I remember hearing the leader of minority in the National Assembly, the Honorable Junet Mohammed, saying publicly that they have accepted that in the past they have been an impediment to devolution, and that they were going to change their ways. In fact, he promised that this week there will be resolution of that matter, both of the RMLF and the additional allocation to county governments. So let us give them until the end of the week, my colleagues, because luckily for them, Honorable Speaker, they are members of ODM. And in ODM, we have only very few basic rules that when Mzee Baba says left, you go left. So on this question, on this question of RMLF, Baba has said left, and Honorable Junet has agreed that he's going to take that left turn. We're waiting to see it. On the question of RMLF, I think the Senator for Kitui had called out members of the Council of Governors. I saw that story myself in the news, Honorable Speaker, and they were quoting the governor of Homa Bay, who's a chairperson of ODM. In fact, what the governor said is that because of what the National Assembly members had given as an undertaking to deal with the question of RMLF this week and the question of additional allocations, then really they themselves as a Council of Governors were prepared upon those concessions being made by the National Assembly to withdraw that case on RMLF. It was not to say that they were ceding ground. At least that is how I understood it to be. Honorable Speaker, let me just conclude by saying that even here in Nairobi, I was receiving petitions today from residents of Kilimani. They were reminding me of a sporting competition that we used to attend when we were a bit younger, called the Rhino Charge, Honorable Speaker. They are saying Rhino Charge can now be very easily held in Kilimani because of the state of the roads in Kilimani, Honorable Speaker. And therefore that we must raise our voices, but we have said that we need to unlock this question of RMLF. We need these county governments to have funds. But also county governors are hiding behind this RMLF thing because it is not the only source of revenue for county governments. Here in Nairobi, we were told by our governor that we have exceeded, or we have gotten the highest ever on-source revenue of about 12 billion. We should see an allocation of that money going to roads. And also, Honorable Speaker, when he appeared before the Senate Energy Committee, he made a commitment that going forward, every person who applies for a construction license must undertake to return the infrastructure to the same state that they found it. Because, Honorable Speaker, in Kilimani, you repair a road today, the next day, somebody is drilling the foundation for a 20-story building, and the road that you have just repaired the other day is being ruined again because of the heavy trucks that are delivering their construction material. So if that is woven into our licensing regime, that if you are a developer, you must return infrastructure to the same condition that you found it, then I think we will be able to make some progress. Honorable Speaker, as we have said, we as a Senate will defend devolution at all turns. And the threats are many. I was having a conversation with the governor of Murang'a, Honorable Speaker, that the county government of Murang'a, exercising his mandate, because water is a devolved function, decide that they are going to lower rates for the residents of Murang'a. And there is a national government organization called WASREB that tells the governor that you cannot reduce the cost of the tariff of water for your people. It is ridiculous because WASREB themselves, they get money out of every liter that the people of Nairobi pay for. So if you reduce the cost for the people of Nairobi, you reduce the amount that is going to WASREB, which is a national organization that should not even be existing. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, we need a wholesome conversation about the state of our roads. We need to unlock the issue of RMLF, but county governors must also now allocate resources to develop roads outside of that RMLF infrastructure. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, we will come back to these statements. I'd wish to rearrange the sequence of today's order paper for the convenience of the House. We proceed to prosecute order number 8, number 9, number 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, yes, up to 15. Thereafter, we will resume normal flow of today's order paper. So before I allow the clerk to call those orders in that sequence, allow me to make this communication. I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, the visiting family members of the first Speaker of the Senate, the late Right Honorable Timothy Chokwe. They are in the Senate on a study tour. Honorable Senators, I request each member to stand when called out so that you may be acknowledged in the Senate tradition. Ms. Alice Damaris Chokwe, daughter-in-law. Mr. Nimrod Mwakitawa Chokwe, the grandson. And Ms. Maria Nzisa Kioko, the niece. Honorable Senators, on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome and wish them a fruitful visit. I will allow the Senator for Kilifi County under 1 minute to extend some words of welcome.
Asante Mstahiki Spika. Mstahiki Spika, kwanza nataka kukuunga mkono ama kukujoin katika makaribisho yako uliowakaribisha ndugu zetu kutoka Kilifi, hususan familia ya Mheshimiwa Chokwe. Tunaelewa kabisa kwamba Chokwe alikuwa Spika wa kwanza wa Senate katika taifa la Kenya. Bwana Spika, hii ni familia ambao kule Kilifi inajulikana sana, na ni familia ambao imejitolea muhanga kuweza kuona ya kwamba watu wa Kilifi pia wamepata haki yao. Bwana Spika, zaidi sana hawa ndugu zetu nafikiria wakiwa wako hapa wamejionea vile Senate inavyofanya kazi, na hatimaye pia wakirudi nyumbani wanaweza kuwa na mambo ambao wanaweza kuwaeleza ndugu zetu wa huko nyumbani. Kwa hiyo mimi nikiwa hapa kama seneta wa Kilifi ninawakaribisha na wajihusishe na wajione wako huru, wako mahali ambapo ndugu zao wako. Kwa hiyo karibuni sana ndugu zangu kutoka familia ya Chokwe. Asante Bwana Spika.
Clerk, you may now proceed to call those orders as directed.
Order number 8, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations and the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Human Rights on a petition to the Senate by Mr. Laban Omosundi concerning restraining county governments from hiring law firms to represent them in court cases. Order number 9, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on its inquiry into personal security concerns raised by Honorable Philomena Kepkorir, Deputy Governor of Trans Nzoia County. Order number 11.
Clerk, just allow us to dispose of those two orders, then we proceed to division. Now, Honorable Senators, if you look at order number 9, debate had been concluded. What was pending was for the chair to put the question, and therefore I'll proceed to put the question. Now, this is a matter that does not concern counties, and therefore voting shall be by voice. and I'll proceed to put the question on order number 9. That the Senate adopts the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations and the Standing Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Human Rights on the petition to the Senate by Mr. Laban Omusundi concerning restraining county governments from hiring law firms to represent them in court cases, laid on the table of the Senate on Thursday, the 3rd of April, 2025. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it. I will proceed, honorable senators, to put the question on order number 9. Again, the voting on this particular order shall be by voice. That the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on its inquiry into the allegations on personal security concerns raised by Honorable Philomena Kapkori, the Deputy Governor of Trans Nzoia County, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, the 1st of October, 2024. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Clerk, you may now proceed to call order number 11, all the way to 15.
Order number 11, the Energy Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2023, second reading division. Order number 12, the County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2023, second reading division. Order number 13, the County Assembly Services Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 34 of 2023, third reading division. Order number 14, the County Assembly's Pension Scheme Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2024, third reading division. Order number 15, the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022, third reading division.
Now, honorable senators, we are proceeding on division of those orders that have been called. Therefore, direct the Sergeant at Arms to ring the division bill for 1 minute. For 1 minute. Sergeant at Arms, you may now proceed to lock the door and draw the bar. Order, Honorable Senator. Senator Boni, kindly take your seat. Lelegwe, Senator, please. The chairperson on roads and transport. Now, Honorable Senators, the orders have already been called out. I will therefore proceed to put the question on order number 11, that the Energy Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2023, be now read a third time. Now, Honorable Senators, please just log out and pull out your delegate cards from the units. Now, Sergeant at Arms, just walk around and pick all the unattended cards. Senator Fernandi, can you take your seat or I rule you out of order? Yes, Honorable Senators, you may go back to your seats. Sergeant at Arms, if you are done collecting the unattended cards, let me know. Now, Honorable Senators, you may now log back into your delegate unit and proceed to vote. Senator Lominen, proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Now, honorable senators, I will now proceed to put the question on order number 12. That is the County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2023. Senator Fernandi, take your seat. That the County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2023, be now read a third time. You may now proceed to vote. Honorable senators will now proceed to put the question on order number 13. On order number 13. Take your seat, honorable senators, as I proceed to put the question. That the County Assembly Services Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 34 of 2023, be now read a third time. We may now proceed to vote. Order, honorable senators. We'll now move to order number 14. I'll proceed to pull the question. That the County Assembly's Pension Scheme Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2024, be now read as third time. You may now proceed to vote. The final one on division, that is order number 15. I'll proceed to pull the question. That the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 40 of 2022, be now read a third time. You may now proceed to vote. The following honorable senators should proceed to dispatch and cast their votes: Senator Mundigi Alexander, Senator Lenku, Senator Nyutu, and Senator Kinyo. Honorable Senators, the result of the division on order number on order number 11 is as follows: ayes 27, nays 0, so the ayes have it.
The Energy Amendment Bill 2023, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Energy Act to make provision for energy purchase agreements and for connected purposes.
The result on the division on order number 12 is as follows: ayes are 27, nays 0, abstention 0, so the ayes have it.
The County Public Finance Laws Amendment Bill 2023, third reading, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the County Assembly Services Act and the Public Finance Management Act and for connected purposes.
The result on the division on order number 13 as follows. Ayes as 29, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
The County Assembly Services Amendment Bill 2023, third reading, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the County Assembly Services Act and for connected purposes.
The result on the division on order number 14 is as follows. Ayes 29, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
The County Assembly's Pensions Scheme Bill, Senate Bills number 14 of 2024, third reading, a bill for an act of parliament to provide for a contributory pension scheme for members of county assemblies, establish a county assembly's pension fund for the payment or granting of pensions or retirement benefits to members of county assemblies and for connected purposes.
The results of the division on order number 15 is as follows. The ayes are 29, nays 0, abstention 0. So the ayes have it.
The Land Amendment Bill 2024, third reading, a bill for an act of parliament to amend the Land Act Cap 280 laws of Kenya.
Subject at arms, you may now open the door and withdraw the bar. Now, honorable senators, we are moving to the committee of the whole. If you look at order number 10, so I beseech you not to leave the chamber so that we dispense with that particular order before we resume normal flow of today's order paper. Clerk, you may proceed to call that order.
Order number 10, Committee of the Whole, the National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bills number 24 of 2023.
Honorable Senators, we can resume our seats.
We are only putting the question on this committee, so senators not to walk out. On which questions are we putting? Committee of the whole. Okay. National disaster.
Hi, how are you? Nilitoka mara vizuri. I've just left Bomet actually. We left Bomet 40 minutes ago. We were in Sambari with Amel, the former MP from Bomet.
Honorable Senators, we will be putting the questions in a few minutes, and I request you not to leave the chamber. It will be a short and precise session. Kindly do not leave the chamber.
The clauses had been canvassed at the sitting held on Tuesday last week. So now what we are just doing is straight to putting of the question. Straight putting the question. There will be 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, fine. We don't have. Chairman, you can ring the bell for like...
Honorable Senators, I want to ask those who are outside to resume the chamber, and in the meanwhile, Sergeant at Arms, could you please ring the quorum bell for 3 minutes?